Any witness excluded is not to discuss the evidence of any previous witness, nor ask or be told any questions that were asked. Having said that, you can all stay. All right, first witness.
First Crown witness, sir, is Detective Constable Toby Fantasia.
You wish to swear or affirm?
Swear on the Bible, please.
Please place the Bible on your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the evidence you're about to give us the truth, so help you God?
I do so swear.
Please sit and spell your last name for the record.
My last name is Fantasia, Fantasia.
And please, for testimony, please clearly speak loudly for the record.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Wu?
Your Honor, with your permission, I'd like to lead the officer through some of the non-contentious issues.
Certainly. I'm sure if you exceed, Mr. Marley will let us know.
I'm sure he will, sir. Now, Officer Fantasia, I understand that you are currently employed as a detective constable with Yorktown Police Service. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And how long have you been so employed as a police officer?
I've been employed as a police officer for 12 years.
And I want to take your memory back to June the 12th of 2009. And can you tell me on that date whether you were employed and working with Yorktown Police Service?
That would be correct. I was employed and working as an undercover officer. My assignment began at 2200 hours, 10 o'clock.
All right, well, let's talk about that a little bit. Tell me about what your duties and responsibilities were as a police officer back on June the 12th, 2009.
I was performing policing duties as an undercover officer. My assignment was to attend Charles F. Kane Park, which is a known drug area. I was to make opportunity drug purchases as part of my assignment.
Now, I see that, officer, that you are looking at something or reading something that's in front of you. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. And what is it that you're looking at?
These are my notes from that day.
And these are notes that you made?
Yes.
And when did you make them?
I made them during and just after the events that occurred that day.
And have there been any additions, deletions, or subtractions made to those notes from the time you made them on that day until today's date?
There have not.
And do you require the notes to refresh your memory with regard to certain details?
Yes, I do.
And do you otherwise have an independent recollection of what took place back on June the 12th of 2009?
That would be correct.
Your Honor, I'd ask permission be granted to the officer to refer to his notes for the purpose of refreshing his memory.
Mr. Marley?
I have no objection. The officer will be allowed to use his notes to refresh his memory.
And officer, then, can you tell me again back on June the 12th of 2009 what time your shift started?
My shift that day started at 2200 hours.
Can you tell me whether or not you were working on your own or were you partnered with any other officers on that date?
My personal assignment was on my own. However, there were officers who were shadowing me because I was unarmed. I was in plain clothes. There was an officer who was following behind me to ensure my safety. He was in uniform.
And tell me about this the location that you were working on that particular day. Where was that?
The location is a park known as Charles F. Kane Park. It is a well-known drug area in Yorktown, and police routinely patrol that area, undercover and not undercover.
So what time did you arrive at the park?
I arrived at approximately 2200 hours.
And again, you indicated that you were undercover on that particular day. Can you tell me what it was that you were wearing?
It would have been a hoodie and jeans.
Was there anything on your person at that particular time that would have identified you as a police officer?
Not to my knowledge.
And in fact, that probably would have been contrary to what your role was on that particular day.
Exactly.
So tell me then what your first observations are as it relates to this particular incident.
Well, I was on patrol. I was walking around, and I noticed as I was walking up near Amberson Avenue that I saw a gentleman by the name of Freddie Friedbrain. This was at approximately 23:30 hours, so approximately an hour and a half into my assignment. This is the first major occurrence that occurred that day. And
Sorry, what was Mr. Freddie's last name?
Friedbrain, Freidbrain.
Thank you.
And officer, sorry to interrupt you, but we're going to take this piece by piece through this. Had you, previous to June the 12th, 2009, had you ever had any contact with this particular individual, Mr. Friedbrain, before?
Yes, I've seen him more than once. I have personally arrested him. I know him currently to be a federally paroled inmate.
All right. And as a result of seeing Mr. Friedbrain at this particular time, what, if anything, did you do?
I went up to speak with him because he also knew my identity, and his being able to see me in the area would have compromised my identity as an undercover police officer. So I went up to him. I saw that he may or may not have been walking alone from the angle that I was following him from, and I went to speak with him and tell him to get out of the area immediately.
And what was the purpose in you saying that to him?
Well, I know he's a federally paroled inmate. He is in an area that is known for drug use. His previous charges include drug charges. Therefore, I formed the opinion that he may be perhaps engaging in illegal activity or activities that may be contrary to his parole conditions.
Was it your intention at that point to place Mr. Friedbrain under arrest, or did you just wish to have a conversation with him at that point?
I wish to have a conversation with him and have him leave the area immediately. It wasn't to place him under arrest, although had I continued speaking with him and learned a couple of things, I perhaps could have placed him under arrest at that particular point in time.
And do you recall what exactly your words to him were?
If I may refer to my notes. I don't recall exactly what my words to him are. I do have notes as to what he said to me in response to them.
All right. Well, we'll get to that in just a second.
Okay.
If you can't recall the exact words that you said to him, can you give us some indication of what it was that you said to him?
I called him over to me. I was walking toward him. I called him over toward me. I told him to leave the area immediately. Those were my words to him. He recognized me, and I recognized him at that point.
And as a result of you asking him to leave the area, did he provide some response to you?
Yes, he stated, "Shove it, Fantasia. I am on my way back from my NA, Narcotics Anonymous meeting. I'm clean and you can't frame me again," he stated.
What happened next?
Once again, I told him to leave the area. I told him that I could and would arrest him for a parole violation at that point in time. And at that point, after I stated that I could and would arrest him for a parole violation, he pushed me. He shoved me. And as soon as he shoved me is when I grabbed him.
Let me stop you there for a second, officer. Before the physical altercation occurred between you and Mr. Friedbrain, did you notice whether there was anybody else in the immediate vicinity of yourself and Mr. Friedbrain before the physical altercation took place?
I did not notice.
And can you tell me again, just to help me again, with what time of the day was this?
This was approximately 23:30, so near midnight.
And this particular park, is there lighting in this particular area of the park?
In this particular area, the lighting is poor, although it is a lit park.
And what else is around this area? Is there a playground or a school, or is it just kind of an open, grassy, treed area?
The area that I approached Mr. Friedbrain was near a road, so there were street lamps, but not in that particular area that I approached him. There is a school nearby. There are actually a couple of restaurants nearby as well.
Now, before approaching Mr. Friedbrain, did you indicate to any of your backup officers that Mr. Friedbrain was there, or that you were going to approach him in some way to get him to leave the area?
No, I did not. I don't carry a radio on me when I'm in an undercover capacity. I don't have any ability to speak directly with other officers who are in the area.
Do you know where these other backup officers were located as it relates to your location?
One of the backup officers who was directly assigned to shadow me was approximately, I would say, about 100 meters behind me. He was in uniform, however, he was somewhat hiding, is the best way to describe it.
All right, so you've had this conversation then with Mr. Friedbrain, and you're up to the point where you're telling us that the confrontation became physical.
Yes.
You've indicated that Mr. Freebrain pushed you,
Yes.
and what did he push you with?
He pushed me with his hands. He put both hands on my shoulders and pushed me backward.
All right, so you're indicating for the record you've got both hands up
That's correct.
and a pushing motion onto your shoulders, is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. And what force did Mr. Freebrain use when he pushed you?
He used enough force to make me stagger back a step or two.
And as a result of that occurring, what, if anything, did you do?
I grabbed him immediately. He knew I was a police officer at that point. He knew my identity. I grabbed him by the arm. He resisted. I applied a hip toss to bring him to the ground, and I proceeded to attempt to subdue him in order to effect an arrest.
And were you successful in that?
I was not successful because at that point in time, there was, I feared that a third party would come, and indeed somebody came toward me. And this individual came toward me from behind and to the right. I yelled out, "Stay back, I'm a cop." However, I'm not sure, I assume he heard me because I yelled it out. Perhaps a second later, he was on top of me, and he pushed me off the accused. It was somewhat of a push, somewhat of a tackle. And this individual, as I was attempting to say once again that I was a police officer, this individual punched me right in the face.
Okay, let's stop there for a second. So you've indicated that you had some inkling or had some fear that there would be another party involved.
Correct.
And why did you have that fear or concern?
I expect it was a loud, essentially fight that was occurring right on the street. I believe I saw Mr. Freebrain look up, and I thought perhaps he was looking at a person. And so my instincts told me that perhaps there was somebody that he was looking at that was just behind me. And in fact, that was correct.
And when this is happening, where are you located? Are you and Mr. Freebrain actually on the ground at this point?
We are, yes.
And who is on top of who?
I am on top of him.
What is the first thing that indicates to you that there is now somebody else either approaching or becoming involved in the altercation?
My first indication of it was simply my instincts. I don't recall seeing this individual until he was very, very near to us.
And where is it that you see him coming from?
Somewhat behind me to the right.
And you indicated that you said something to this person.
Yes.
What did you say?
When I sensed somebody was coming up behind me, I yelled, "Stay back! I'm a cop. I'm a police officer."
And did you provide, at that point, any type of identification? Did you show a badge? Did you do anything like that?
At that point in time, I had not shown a badge, but I did indicate that I was a police officer.
Would it have been safe for you at that point to have shown a badge, to have stopped?
Absolutely not. I was performing an arrest at that time, and this individual who I was performing an arrest on knew that I was a police officer quite clearly.
So you say you shout this out, correct?
Yes.
And how long of a time is it before or in between the time that you make this announcement that you're a police officer and the time where you first feel or see this other person becoming involved?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that question?
Certainly. You indicate, you shout out that you're a police officer. How long of a time span is it between when you say that to the point where you now see this third party or feel this third party involved in the altercation somehow?
Well, I shouted out that I was a police officer after I first sensed that there was another person.
Yes?
After that happened, after I actually shouted out the words, "I'm a cop," it must have been a couple of seconds at most before this individual pushed me off Mr. Freebrain.
And this individual that pushed you off, how did he push you off, or how did this person push you off?
It was a push from the right side, and it was a combination between a push and a tackle because he followed through, and he was also put to the ground partially as a result of the push. So it could be described as a push, it could be described as a tackle.
The push or tackle, as you describe it, was it successful in getting you off of Mr. Freebrain?
Yes, it was.
And where did your body end up after the push or tackle?
I suppose I rolled once, and I was to the left of Mr. Freebrain, who was still on the ground at that time. Essentially, for a brief moment, there were 3 people on the ground.
So this other individual that has now become involved after the push or tackle, where did they end up? Also on the ground?
Very briefly, yes. Although both of us very quickly stumbled to our feet.
And what happened at that point?
At that point is when I attempted to pull out my badge and once again indicate that I was a police officer. And at that point is when this third party actually punched me.
All right, so let's talk about that for a second then. So you managed to get up off of the ground,
Yes.
and this other individual, how far away is he from you when you stand up?
Oh, he must be within 2 meters, perhaps a little bit less.
And do you say something to this person at this point?
I'm beginning to tell him once again, I've already told him, but I'm beginning to say once again that I'm a police officer.
All right. What is it that you say?
I was starting to say I'm a police officer at this point, and I was going to tell him that he needs to get out of here. I was not going to press any charges because I gave him the benefit of the doubt that somehow, even though I had shouted it out, he didn't understand that I was a police officer.
Well, what words did you exactly get out? You said you were going to identify yourself again, but what exact words did you get out before something else happened?
I expect I said something to the effect of, I am a, and at that point, I'm taking out my badge. At that point, he had punched me. I don't believe I got much more than that out.
All right. So then describe for me then what happened next. You said he punched you, and what did he punch you with?
With his closed fist, with his right hand.
And on what part of your body was struck by the closed fist?
It was the left side of my face on my jaw.
All right, so for the record, you're indicating an area on the cheek, jaw area on the left side of your face. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Agree with that, Mr. Marley?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Now, the person that struck you in that fashion, do you see that person here in court today?
I do.
All right, can you identify him for the record, please?
It's the person sitting at the accused table right now.
Indicating the accused for the record, Your Honor.
Thank you.
So how many times were you struck by the accused?
I was struck once.
What happened after you were struck?
After I was struck, I was clutching my head for a moment, but I saw the police officer, Constable Ugart, who was covering me, come running toward and begin to arrest the individual who had just punched me.
After receiving the punch, were you able to remain standing?
Yeah, I was able to get back up and stand up.
Okay. Well, that's not what I asked you. What I asked you was, when you were struck, were you able to remain standing, or did you end up on the ground as a result of the punch?
I staggered backward, but I wasn't knocked over. I suppose I reeled backward for a moment. I thought that my jaw could have been broken at that point. There was blood that was drawn. I could feel it. I could taste it in my mouth. But I wasn't knocked over. He didn't knock me out.
So what happened next then? You see the other officer, who is Ugarte, is that correct?
That's correct.
Ugarte?
Yes.
And you see that officer approaching from where?
The officer was approaching from the same direction that I approached the situation from, because he was shadowing me. His assignment was to stay behind me and see what I was doing, to witness any drug buys that I had made. And so he came from the same direction that I came from, and he appeared to be sprinting at that point. I'm sure he probably began his sprint before a punch was thrown. I'm sure he sensed, just like I did, that something wrong was going on, that there was a third party coming toward this altercation.
Did the accused say anything to you prior to the punch?
I don't believe he did.
And how about after? So you've been punched, you stagger back, you're still on your feet. Does he say anything to you at that point?
No, because after the punch, perhaps seconds later, is when Constable Ugar came in and helped to effect the arrest. He began the arrest, and after I regained my senses, I assisted in performing the arrest.
All right. So again, if you can clarify for us then, so how long is it between the time that you're punched and the time that the other officer attends to arrest the accused or to have some interaction with the accused?
I expect it was probably less than 10 seconds later the officer was able to come in and apprehend him.
So then what happens next? There's yourself, there's the other officer now, which has arrived on the scene, and what takes place next?
Well, the accused was being arrested by the other officer. He was taken to the ground. We placed him on his front. He was handcuffed behind his back. He didn't resist arrest at that point. He was compliant after cuffs were placed on him, and we took him to the police station. Unfortunately, Mr. Freebrain did manage to escape, but he was not our concern at that particular moment. This individual had just assaulted a police officer. We had to arrest him at that point.
All right, so is it fair to say then that both yourself and Officer Ugart participated together in the arrest of the accused?
It was his caller, but yes, we both participated in the arrest.
I want to go back just for a moment to the punch. And can you describe for us with what force the accused used when he punched you?
He was a big guy. He was strong. He applied a great deal of force in punching me in the face. I can say that with some certainty.
And as a result of the punch to the face, did you sustain any injuries?
Yes, I had a great deal of tenderness and soreness in my jaw. I thought initially that it might be broken. At this point in time, it does feel a little bit different. It's very difficult to describe exactly how it feels now, but it does feel different. I sometimes do feel a little bit of pain in that part of my face, but in terms of is it broken like I suspected it was broken, I didn't get an X-ray or anything, but I'm able to speak with you, so that's what I know.
All right, well, let's talk about that for a second. What, if any, treatment did you receive as a result of the injuries sustained from the punch?
Well, when I went back to the station, there happened to be a paramedic there, so I spoke with the paramedic, and the paramedic told me just go and see your doctor, which I eventually did. I did go and see. He's my family doctor, actually.
And did you have any, after the arrest of the accused took place, did you have any other involvement with him on that particular evening?
With whom?
With the accused.
I didn't have any personal involvement. I was considering briefly whether or not to press charges also for resist. However, it turned out later that the accused, actually his parole was suspended, probably as a direct result of this incident, and therefore I decided not to begin a proceeding against him.
Well, you were referring to the accused or you're referring to Mr. Freebrain?
Oh, I'm sorry.
This is the accused.
I'm referring to Mr. Freebrain.
All right. So my question again was then, did you have, after the arrest that took place,
Yes,
did you have any other involvement with this accused on that particular evening?
I did not know.
If I may just have a moment, please, Your Honor.
Certainly.
Sir, do you recall whether or not you had attended with or seen a medical doctor, a physician, as a result of the injuries you sustained from the punch?
I spoke with my family doctor. That's all I did.
All right. And is that Dr. Leland?
Yes, that is.
And do you recall when you saw Dr. Leland?
I don't remember the exact date. It couldn't have been more than a week later.